just recall when I met you like a couple of months ago, and you were sharing about doing this podcast and everything, and I said, can I please be part of that? When you talk about consequences, right, I'll touch on one. One is just when you work with family, it's a little tricky.
Hello and welcome to the Flame of Fortune, ladies and gentlemen, a show where we ignite minds with insights and inspiration. I am your host, Jasper Perry, and here we have Mwai Wirima, HR Director at Namiwa Private School and Mental Health First Aider. This is the end of 2024, and I'm pretty sure 2024 has done so much, and we have gone through so many situations like growth and so much change. The main part about this first episode is that I want us to look at the whole concept of moving to the next year, right? Because whatever the case, time is moving and change is inevitable, because whilst we could be in whatever situation holding back from change and everything, but the world and our environment will continuously change. We will grow, we will what? So I would like to just hear if you could share your side of what 2024, like in brief, on how it has shown you. Yeah.
2024 has shown me flames. It has shown me flames. It's been a really difficult year, I'm not even gonna lie. And I just recall when I met you like a couple of months ago, and you were sharing about doing this podcast and everything, and I said, can I please be part of that?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want to talk about it, I want to, because I believe that's the only way to actually deal with things, when you're talking through things.
Yes. Yes.
And not like just managing by yourself, because it almost took me out. I'm not even gonna lie. This year, it was a really tough year, in I'd say pretty much all areas. And honestly, I didn't think that I didn't know how I was even going to make it to the end of the year. But I do believe, because I'm feeling a lot more grounded and everything as we're speaking right now on the 28th of December. But it took a lot of work to feel this way.
Oh, yes.
It took stepping back from everything to feel this way and just be like, I need to re-strategize. I need to regroup, because it was one of those things that's what is my approach to life? Because there's always going to be challenges.
Oh, yes. Feeling grounded here now is, are we talking of work-wise alone or social life or both?
We're talking about both. Just the way I would feel.
Okay,
let's just say we're talking about mentally.
Okay, the whole idea of you being able to stand in front of a mirror and smile.
But my thing is that, right, this is what I really mean. If something messes up on a professional level, work stuff, or on a personal level, socially, financially, whatever, I would just break down. I wasn't able to manage life. Everything felt like it was attacking me.
Oh, yes.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I needed to step back and be okay, I just need to be out of life. Even just in terms of my own goals and stuff like that, right? I was going at them so hard, without even taking a breath.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I understand that.
Yeah.
So as you're mentioning that it's been a tough time, but then you've been able to create a grounding.
Yeah.
It's really motivating, right? Let's pin it down now, right? Where let's start with work,
Okay.
right? What is your work life like? And what was it like before? When we talk about you creating a grounding in your life, because I find it that as we grow older, work becomes the life.
So, first of all, right, like you mentioned, in terms of my 9 to 5, or obviously 7 to 5 over here, Namima Private School is a family business. And we also run like other sort of family businesses, but the main one being the school, right? And so, like you mentioned, I'm HR director there. And, you know, when you work with family, it's a little tricky, right? But also it does have its benefits.
Oh yes.
So in terms of what it looked like before, I'd be at the office, but I wasn't doing anything, you know. And I'm HR director. I would go in late. I would just sit. I would just watch my series. Yes, even at my big age, you know what I'm saying? Like I would just go in just to be physically in, and things were just kind of like not getting done. But like that was more because of my mental, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, that was more because of my mental. But like recently, like what it's been like is I'm going in on time, because one of the things that I'm trying to practice a little bit more is just like punctuality. It's just like there's integrity even in that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
And just for myself, like respect, like respect myself. Before, my mindset was like, yeah, it's a family business anyway. Like, so what? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's already moving.
Yeah, but I am HR director. There is, I do have to set the tone. You know what I'm saying? I'm going in. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing for today. Work planning and all of that. I don't necessarily, I'm going to be honest on this, I don't necessarily enjoy working with my family, because we're already a very tight-knit family. So I like space sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
One of the things was just like, well, I just feel like we're always in each other's space, you know what I'm saying? But like, my approach is different to it in the sense that, let me shadow my mother, for example. She is retiring, let me actually shadow her, let me see, like, let me pick up what, and then obviously coming through with some of my ideas, for example, and actually implementing it. But then also just kind of like sticking to tradition, because I would always want to come with my ideas, but not like do what is already being done, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, but it's like, no, this is tradition. This is how things are done over here. So just kind of like approaching things a little bit differently, right?
Okay. So like you've mentioned that previously you would just go and just sit, right? And I'm pretty sure this came with consequences, of course.
Some, yeah.
And okay, like personally, you know how let's say a week goes by without you doing anything productive, and then your mind ticks and asks you to say, what have we done this week? So we sometimes choose to ignore it and then go about doing some loud stuff, and just to numb out that feeling, because you're like, at the end of the day, everything else is moving. So I like the fact that you actually put in like a certain amount of effort. And does this come with maybe a sense of, or does this bring to you a sense of like, not entitlement, but rather ownership for your life?
Yeah, it does, because when you talk about consequences, right, I'll touch on one. One is just not being relied upon. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Oh, that one.
Things will need to be done. Okay, who's good? Okay, definitely not her.
Hey.
You know
so they can give that job to them, and you start to look at yourself and go,
yeah.
hold up, like I'm right here. What is going on?
Yeah.
And I really resonate with that one because there was a time when I wasn't too busy, but I just wasn't available.
Yeah.
So then I would see things that my dad would normally send me around to do.
Yeah.
Like even my mother, like we run a similar thing where they run their business and then we come in and complement the areas where they're not available, right? Because at the end of the day, they can't be everywhere.
Of course.
So they need the extra limbs.
Yes.
Now you would wonder why they're hiring somebody who's doing something you're very, very well capable of doing.
Yeah.
And then you start to feel that come on.
Yeah. It's not a comfortable feeling.
It really
it's
isn't.
Not comfortable. You feel no. It's not a comfortable feeling because exactly like how you said, like, what am I doing? What am I doing here?
Like,
why?
what is this?
You know?
So eventually now you start to apply yourself little by little, and then of course there'll be friction because people are not sure if you're serious about what it is that you're trying to do. But the more you do it, the better it becomes, and the more they see, okay, you know what, let's hand her this. You know, they give you the little stuff in the beginning and then it grows from there. Okay. So work wise, there's the implementation of like just creating a proactive view. Yes. Right? Yeah. Now let's go to personal business. Right. Personal business. Like whilst trying to implement or trying to reposition yourself at work, there still needs to be time for you to create that dream that you have. Right? Because I choose to believe that work, basically, like as a child, my father always said, if you enjoy what you do, you will never work a day of your life, right? Because it'll just be playtime. Exactly. So what have you done in that section so to make sure that you keep the balance between work and personal, like passion projects or businesses and everything?
So, when I would be doing work, right, like my actual job, HR, right, if I wasn't watching series,